Hi, I'm Kathy Lincoln. I'm coming from Artistic Artifacts, and we're going to play with embroidery, but we're going to be playing most importantly with this new Freearm hoop. It's designed for larger projects, tote bags, t-shirts, things that you previously had to take apart to embroider if you're using pre-made product. You don't have to do that anymore, and I'm going to show you how that works. This is a lovely hoop. It actually has the same ratchet closing that the midi and the maxi and the jumbo hoop. This is the maxi hoop itself. Now the biggest difference in why this hoop works is because it has the module attachment on the inner hoop and not on the outer hoop, as is traditional. So this allows this extra space to flow freely and to move freely and to move the top layer more easily. So this is a wonderful invention. Nobody else in the market has this particular feature, and it is in the process of being patented. There. So what we're going to be working on today is a tote bag. You can go and buy these any number of places, and they come just in multiples or singles. And I'm going to be using this design set, this OESD design set. This particular design set is a very soft and very pleasing colorway, and it works very well on the canvas and on multiple other things that I will show you later. So when you use this hoop, if you actually read the instructions, and occasionally we do have to, it tells you the first thing you need to do is to calibrate the hoop. Now I'm going to give you a refresher, because if you took my mastery class, you got to do this in the embroidery mastery class, but if you didn't, I need to give you a refresher. So you have your hoop and you have your template, and because this template looks very much like the large oval template, I have actually labeled mine so I can tell the difference. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Settings, which is the gears, and you're going to go to the Embroidery menu, and then you're going to go to the Calibrate your hoop, and then you let the machine do its shimmy. Then I'm going to put the hoop down. I'm going to make sure, oops, let me move it here. And then I'm going to put my template down. Oops, make sure it's in there. Yes. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that my needle goes through the hole in the center. So this is the exception to the rule. I'm actually going to manually move the hand wheel. And this is pretty close to center. If it was not close to center, I would raise up the needle and use the arrows on the touch screen to move the needle to where it needs to be. It's important because this is the first time you're using this hoop, and it's a different hoop for this machine. Once you have it where you want it, then you hit the green check, and then it's calibrated. And then you can close out of your settings. And now I'm going to take the hoop off because I need to show you how to hoop things up with this hoop. So I'm going to put my directions away so I don't lose them. And I should tell you also that this hoop is compatible with all the current models of 8s, the 880, the 880 Plus, the 700, the 720, the 735, the 770, 770 QE Plus, the 790, the 790 Plus, and all of the current new 5s, the 500, the 535, 540, the 570 QE, and the 590. Now, the 570, it is the newer 570 that has the larger harp. There will be, after the first of the year, a new firmware so that it will be compatible with the B830, the B750, and the B780. They haven't forgotten about you. It will be compatible with that with the new firmware. Now, if you haven't updated your firmware or had it done at service, there is a new firmware for all the other machines that will tell the machine that this hoop is acceptable. If you've bought a machine recently, it has the firmware on it, or it should, at least if you bought it from us. So.
We did have a quick question.
Yes.
That doesn't look like an embroidery stitch plate.
No, it's not. I haven't changed it. This is the floor model. And for the floor model, we leave the zigzag stitch plate on, the 9mm stitch plate, because we go between the sewing side and the embroidery side. And if you put the straight stitch plate on, you can't demonstrate decorative stitches. So that's why it has the 9mm stitch plate on. And to be quite honest, I don't always remember to change my stitch plate. It's not a crisis.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay. So I have my tote bag. I have my tote bag turned inside out. And this is my stable stick stabilizer. And even though this is, a really tall roll, and my my hoop is not that big, what I do is I cut the length I need, and then I just cut it in half. So I get double out of the tall rolls. So I never worry about having a roll that's too big. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, here we go, pull my backing off. Throw that there. And then this has got the sticky side, and I'm just going to position it around the middle of my bag. And give it a good press. Now, to keep it in place, just so that if anything happens when I turn the bag right side out, I am going to put a couple of flower head pins from the front, just to make sure that it doesn't undo itself. And these are nice for this because they're nice and long and flat. Okay, one more. And now I will turn this right side out. And try not to bleed all over it as I stick myself. Okay, so now I have it turned. I am going to make sure that everything is still okay on the inside. Okay, Now I have my hoop. I don't need my template anymore, but be very careful with these. You don't want to ever lose them. I keep them all together in a drawer in my sewing table because I have known to have lost a few and then I had to replace them, and they are not inexpensive. Okay. So before I put my hoop on, I am going to mark the center of where I want my design to be. Now this design, let me grab my, okay, is basically 6 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So I kind of want to center it, but I actually am going to also decrease the size of it because I want it to be appropriately sized for this bag. So I am going to mark where I think the center of the design should be. And I'm going to do that not very elegantly, but very practically. I'm just going to use my pencil and a rotary ruler so that I can eyeball it. And I think I want it about, and you also have to have it up 7 centimeters from the bottom of the bag. Now that's what the instructions say, and I know people don't like working in metric, but it is quite simple and it's not really that big a deal. 7 centimeters is basically 70 millimeters, and there are 25 millimeters in round figures to the inch. So that's basically right around 3 inches. So I want to make sure that the bottom of my design is at least 3 inches up. And I know that I'm there because I have the middle of my design really sort of in the top half of the bag. And this can be very much an eyeball situation, not a precise. Because if someone looks at this tote bag that you're giving it to them and they say, oh, you're a centimeter off, just smack them. Because that's just wrong. A gift's a gift. Okay, so this is the outer hoop. It goes inside. And it goes inside so that I can feel that I'm pretty much centered. And since I have the outer hoop in now, I can pull my pins because I don't want them in the way of my inner hoop. And you just press it down. Make sure you have the ratchet all the way open. And because this is canvas, it's rather thick. And then you just tighten it up. There's the ratchet until it clicks. And then, as with any hooping, you're going to push it just a hair past to make sure that the hoop is riding on the stabilizer and fabric and not actually riding on the hoop itself. Because if it rides on the hoop, you're going to scratch up your bed of your machine. So you'll notice I do not have my slide-on table on, because what I want to do is slide the back of the bag underneath and I'm going to push down the back of the bag so that I can then attach the hoop. And then I will get everything else out of the way here. Make sure that handles are out of the way, the hoop is out of the way, and you can see why this hoop works so well because of this attachment to the inner hoop versus the outer hoop. So the next thing I have to do is that I need to make sure that I position my design correctly. So I'm going to go to my little information eye, and I have my choices here. I am going to select check, and I'm going to center it. So this is going to allow me to use my multifunction knobs and I will manually, oops, I need to move it back up a little and over just a hair, up just a hair, another. Okay, now I have it centered. And you'll notice that I do have a slight issue here, but part of the problem is this design is now upside down on my bag. So I need to fix that first. So I'm going up here to where I can mirror image it right, left. And I also am going to make it a little bit smaller so that it fits in the hoop and I don't have to worry about it. So I am going to make it down to 90%. One more tick, come on. There we go. So now you'll see everything is in the hoop and it's in the right direction because I want the bottom of my design at the bottom of my hoop, on the top of my design up by where the handles are. If you don't do that flipping, you'll have an upside down pumpkin on your bag. So I can close out of here, and now I am going to go ahead and start the embroidery process. I have my machine threaded. I have the green go light. Let me talk about what I have in my bobbin thread. I'm going to stop it and I'm going to trim off this so I don't have to hold it. And we can move away from the machine. So, as I said, this set of designs, it's an OESD design, it's one of their newer ones. It has this lovely colorway. This is the bag. I did this at 90% as well. Also, you can do towels. These make absolutely wonderful hostess gifts. So if you're going to someone else's house for Thanksgiving this year, you have something you can do that it's everyone appreciates a pretty towel to hang in their kitchen or in their powder room. These towels are great. They are blank towels from Dunover House. We have them in the shop. They come in packs of 6. So you'll have enough to make one for yourself, or 2 for yourself, or 3 or 4, and then one for somebody else. When I do towels, I use Aquamesh. Aquamesh Plus, to be specific. And I will literally take the Aquamesh, cut it to the size I want, hoop size, take off the backing, and put it directly onto the back of the towel. That way the stabilizer and the towel are one unit, so that when I go to hoop them up, there's no gaps, there's no ripples, there's no any problems with getting puckers. Now with these towels, you will need to pre-wash them, and once they're pre-washed, and you will have to press them the first time, but after that you don't have to press them. I have used these for multiple different designs, different gifts. I have them in my own powder room when I have company, which of course we haven't had a whole lot lately. But Once they've been washed the first time and pressed, and you've embroidered them, and then you wash out, this is water soluble, you wash out the water soluble, you don't have to press them again. They're wonderful, high quality towels. Let's see. Check on it. This is a good time for questions.
Do you use a topping as well?
Not on these towels and not on this canvas bag. It doesn't have enough surface texture to do that. If I had a towel where there was a little surface texture, and I have done those too as gifts as well, those do get topping. If they have a surface texture, I do a topping, otherwise no.
And then what was the name of the towels again?
They are, here we go, Done Over House. And they're on our website, and we have them in the shop. And this is the design set. I can show you some of the other designs.
And then we did have one, two more questions.
Okay.
For Barb, yes, this will be available to view later. All of these, all of our Facebook Lives get recorded, put on our Facebook page, and then our YouTube page. So please check us out after this if you need to catch up on the first part. And then Wendy asked, can you embroider sleeves on this hoop?
Sleeves are probably going to be too small. With sleeves, I would probably go back to the small or the medium hoop, because if you have the 7 series or 8 series or 5 series even, they all have the built-in free arm. This large free arm hoop is really designed for the larger projects. Unless you have a really wide, flowing sleeve, I would say no.
Okay, that's all we have.
Okay. I will continue this, but I don't think you want to spend the next hour watching me just embroider. I think you should go and do your own embroidery.
Were there any other patterns that you wanted to show us
yeah,
there?
you can see this is the one I'm working on. Then there is this one that says Be Thankful. It's very pretty. They're all very soft. I love this stack of pumpkins. And then the Happy Thanksgiving. Another group of pumpkins. Another Give Thanks. See why they would make very good gifts. Here's the Hello Fall. And this is how it stitches out. It's stitched out really nicely. And then you have some smaller motifs. And there's really lovely, soft, very subdued, not in-your-face colors. Of course, you can change all the colors and make them in your face if you choose. It's up to you. It's your stuff.
And then actually we did have a few last second questions.
Okay.
Sorry. Besides size, have you found any other limitations with this hoop?
Not really. I just love the fact that I can not have to take my bag apart to do anything on it. I love giving tote bags as hostess gifts filled with goodies. And if it's a seasonal bag, because everyone needs tote bags now that you have to pay for bags in the grocery store. These tote bags are very easy to use and people appreciate them, and I don't think you could have too many tote bags.
And then is this set of designs part of the October or November spree?
I don't know if it's part of the spree. I know it's on the website, and it will move you towards that $79 to get the free design. When you purchase this and probably a couple others, I don't remember this being all that expensive. I think it's a neighborhood of $29 or $30. I don't remember. It's been a while since I got it.
And then other than bags, what else can you do with this hoop?
T-shirts. You can customize polo shirts. You can customize anything that's larger that you can slide onto the machine.
Okay, and then is Bernina the only flatbed with Freearm embroidery?
I am not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure that Bernina is one of the very few. I don't really know about a lot of the other machines because I don't mess with them. I'm a Bernina girl.
And then one last question. I think they missed this at the beginning. Where did this design come from again?
This is OESD. Actually, it's a Scissortail design, but you can get it if you go to our website. We have a link to the OESD website, and if you put in the design number, the Scissortail designs will come up as well on the same link. They're all part of OESD.
Awesome. Yeah, and then that's it for the questions.
Okay. Well, then I hope you all have a great day and get to your embroidery machine and have fun.